a dream run, that one-off fairy tale. This is the real deal, and it's split to decide. I don't know where to go with this, man, because we've seen some of the best of ZETA on this map.
We have indeed, and the big comparison here is two very different applications of the Astra. But actually, I'm kind of leaning with Josh. I mean, even with the performance versus G2, I still felt really good about ZETA coming out of that.
Yes.
Particularly for me, I mean, it comes back to the same old 10 back on the race here. He was so impactful for them previously. Again, slight composition switch on the side of Liquid as well, but in terms of expectations, we know how Liquid are going to want to play this one.
Yes.
Fairly all in towards B here. You can see the pings coming out.
Rotations are in, though.
Yeah, there's bodies here.
Yeah, ZETA's now got 2 players on the site, 2 towards heaven, actually committing towards hell for depth here too, and the slow on the hit, going to deny easy access in the walls.
That's that same tip-top wall we've seen before.
Yeah. And the cross not going to be ideal because Laz wants to challenge a little bit on this. Going to be toyed with by Scream. Dangerous name to be saying, but they kept their composure. Slipping towards the back of the pillar. They haven't fully given up side control just yet. It's that back and forth. The waning side of control. Navera with a quick shot though. Catches Laz just a little out too far. Flash comes in, shot and a half. Deb still standing, still delivering. Holds it for 2. And now a 2v2. Both playing together. Navera and Link though. Having to deal with 10 up towards heaven. The utility. Oh, shoved on in. Link still alive, 40 HP.
30 seconds left.
And now the quiet before the storm. The spike's still down at the back of the site. They don't have to cook this. Deb still trying to keep a little bit of space, but look at the creep from Navera. He's got the timing wrong, apparently. Deb, how did he get that headshot? I do not know. And Link, a fight on 2 fronts, one right, one left, and the spike not to hand. He has to pick his poison. Falls back away, gets the spike back, does what he can with this. But now the double swing, ZETA get things started right with the first round on the board.
The ZETA play that's so disciplined as well, just completely cutting off any of these opportunities that Liquid had to secure that round. Ultimately, you feel as if they get the opener here with Navera finding the kill onto Sugar Zero. But Dep, man, just goes huge in the pistol round.
No right to get that shot on Navera. I thought Navera had the timing on that. Genuinely, that kind of like readdress of trying to creep, you know, the pillar there looked so good. Not to be at all. Wow, this is such a
what a tense start.
Game. No,
what a tense start to the decider.
I feel like that is such like a characterization of the whole game we're about to see. Just super intense from the word go. Flash confirms as players on the other side, so 10 should be on red alert.
And the spike, I'm not actually going to spot out 10's position close by, and he's here with the judge, so in position to do some real damage here if Navera swings, and he will find just that. Yampy on the other side as well, going to eat up a couple of shots. Force that Marshall back. Be able to find the heal from Scream though.
But I do think for ZETA in this, you have to instantly deny Liquid kind of what we saw on map 2, that like, okay, we've got our protocol list, we can go through the motions as we determine them. And I'm glad to see ZETA already kind of meeting that with fire. This looks like such a different side. You know, that last map, Haven, felt just nothing to me.
Well, we've seen 2 very different early round performances from both teams.
Yes.
And this is one here where I think ZETA actually probably have the edge in that regard. And already here in the early rounds, we're seeing some positives. Try and deal with this wall in mid.
And Laz, it rolls my mind back to the game we saw him being such a high priority to be dealt with in that room, and how well he kept fighting back, still holding it.
G2, yeah.
It was unbelievable. You can see the resilience in the side. This round shouldn't be much to write home about considering you know the purchase, but they're still trying to do what they can. They're down to 23 seconds on it. So any damage is good. Not as clean, I'm sure, as Crow would have liked, but it gets the job done. Soulcast down, and a couple more on the back of it working up as well. Laz, oh, he just turned around. Now, this actually could be the downfall of him. He turns back to check. You don't get the better of him. Yampy doing Yampy things, but it's 2 for ZETA.
3 will survive, so a decent opportunity here at the bonus round for ZETA. We'll see what Dep and Crow decide to settle on. Sheriffs are plenty.
Okay.
Should be able to ride this out. Just finding the definition of constellations. 2 headshots there to close things out. Again, with how this has gone, Liquid not really, I mean, other than Yampy 2 off the Rolling Thunder. Soulcast really we look towards in terms of the showstopper. If they can close this out, they'll be a million miles away from it. Scream actually going to bring a Guardian into this round here. Looking like early intention towards B here, and actually ZETA might even come out.
That didn't catch
Did it
either.
catch?
No,
No.
absolutely not. It looked like they wanted to swing on that. You can see Scream sitting anti-flash for a second or two there just in case there was another, double dip on it, but they don't have the information now. Just off the back of that one flash, you can already see the rotations elsewhere. They've kind of drawn them away. And Sugar Zero, well, feeling real lonely right now and has company that he didn't really want. Soulcast quick to take him out. Depp is already here though and does get the trade pretty quickly. Don't challenge one by one. Depp's too good and Laz with the support. Gonna find him regardless, and suddenly this is looking like a disaster. Scream and Link. And look at 10. He spotted them both. He's just gonna buy time. Yeah, Pain Shell, catch. Have a little go on that one. Oh, I've got a judge. You wanna hit a rotation? Not here.
Actually gonna wall up. No way. Does he expect it on top? He should see him.
He's still fighting him. What on earth is going on?
Oh, it's looking fumbly here from Liquid already early on. ZETA actually convert the round 3. Adept again. Look at him, just put him in a corner. He has no options here, but still delivers. And actually the snake bite to bail him out as well, finding this final bit of damage onto Nevera.
That's a tilter for me. If I'm Liquid, I'm tilted. I'm getting frustrated.
Because they got so deep onto B site as well.
They were like wrapped on pillar. Like Soulcast was super deep on that. Like, yeah, him getting traded isn't the worst thing in the world for me either. It's just that the follow-up, the peaks were just
he found the entry.
A little too much. Exactly. Okay, back to the drawing board a little here for Liquid, and it's like, hey, welcome back to ZETA, the team that has caused problems for so many others. It is exactly that. It's so different. Depp already gonna find Link. Cuts him off from the rest. No chance even to come back for a trade. Wall goes up. Mid's no longer yours.
There's just so much to slow down any mid progress. Again, it's the cycling of smokes, it's the poison orb, it's the snake bite, then it's the Sage util. And actually, I'm fearful that these rounds, actually, if Liquid try and challenge it, Scream will find an open on Sugar Zero towards B. Spike comes through. Laz actually slapping Heaven as well, though.
Okay. I was a little worried that cross could get caught. You're right. Yeah. Laz was still kind of not actively over-peaking, but was kind of having a little bit of a glance towards it. And Nevera's late lurk towards middle could be something to talk about here once that wall drops. However, for now, we have to focus on towards Heaven, CT. Main Shell gonna force Scream away now. Gives away a little bit of the game here. 10 now seems hyper aware of the chance of that lurk, but they have to start addressing the site. And that's how they plan to do it. Send that on in. Doesn't find what it wants, but Depp does. Gonna do well enough with the Reds as well. Gonna get Crow back on the feet, leaving Nevera and Yampi standing. There's that late lurk from Nevera. He's gonna ring a couple more bells. Can't do it, Crow. Keeps control to stand, and the round will go to ZETA. That's 4 now.
The awareness is fantastic from ZETA. Nevera unnoted throughout most of that round, so you can see actually somebody still holding as that wall drops. Yes, he finds a kill, but at that point, ZETA have shifted their focus towards site, and exactly what I was talking about. There's so much for Liquid to deal with in mid. Like I said, the concern comes from actually with a real lack of focus initially here towards mid. They're cutting off a massive opportunity for splitting both sides.
I just, my mind instantly goes to that G2 game, right? Yeah. It's like how hard Nuki had to work to take that mid space, constantly having to fight for it, trying to instantly get Lazio in a really uncomfortable spot. It was high priority for a reason. I think we're seeing a little bit more of that this time around. But again, he wasn't always alone. That Depp is still up towards Heaven as well. Pops the wall down when feeling that it needed. But Liquid need to actually kind of commit almost further to it if they really want to garner that mid control, because it looks high priority for ZETA. They are not giving that for free at all.
I think you're right, actually. This is almost an adjustment from ZETA to put a couple more bits of defense up in mid here, and Liquid is just they're just sat here spamming into a smoke. And no progress whatsoever, and a deeper wall this time around. The first time that ZETA feels some pressure, the wall comes much deeper. I feel like ZETA win out in terms of the utility trade-off there in mid.
Yeah, 50 seconds left, and you're right, what does Liquid really have left in the tank? Because ZETA didn't commit massive amounts in my mind, but they've got 3 players actually on that B site itself. Gonna send a flash in towards main, didn't find anyone, but they're gonna know the pressure's coming in from Heaven at the very least. 35 seconds now, Liquid need to make this hit count, and they've gotta make it pretty soon. Depp's under a little bit of pressure here, stays unnoted for now, does get shoulder checked by Scream. Soulcast finds him, Soulcast then doubles down, perfect. Sugar Zero still lingering on the site though, 24 seconds. Don't forget he is here. The smoke drops, Scream, great work. This is what they needed, and that's finally Liquid really looking mechanical in approach.
And that methodical clearance through, again, just waiting out. Like I said, after I felt they'd almost lost out in terms of the utility investment there in mid. Also, a little bit of a fumble with the wall as well. One being stuck behind it, but Soulcast able to blast back up, and good for 2 on the entry as well. Really, really nice clearance there from Liquid.
What? I've got my ult.
Soulcast, I mean, you heard it there. Got the showstopper online now. Yampi's the only ultimate lacking here from Liquid. We know invested in the previous. Interested to see if we see any sort of adjustment here from ZETA. No real pressure towards A just yet, so again, lots of space to work with elsewhere on the map. Some of that lack of pressure from Nevera, but yeah, just on flank control duty. Viper's Pit invested towards B here, so it's actually going to force Liquid towards that mid setup once again. But no Snakebite to double down on the poison orb this time.
And again, we've seen these kind of later round hits because ZETA put up such a problematic hold towards a lot of the extremities, towards that middle side of things. The Liquid have to spend a lot of time doing this. So it does mean you end up down towards those late round hits, but again, half this map is really inaccessible towards them.
The Seekers tell a big story here as well. Everything coming towards bottom mid, so they know that there's no pressure outside 8.
Yep.
Can leave 10 on that island.
Kind of cheating Crow over a little early. I like that. Soulcast slowed down. Gives them time to back away. Should be
30 seconds left.
Really hard to make this work for Soulcast. He's just going to send it in. Oh dear.
I know
Depp,
exactly.
I don't think you know how lucky you might be, but now he's going to be forced to fight. He finds 1, 2. Depp, unbelievable 3. Not going to get 4 because Soulcast leaps in with the judge. He has to go further. 10 seconds. He's trying to chase him down. Denied by Crow as Yampi a 1v2, but time is his biggest enemy. They're just going to toy with him, play with him, make it inaccessible. 2 more seconds. The clock will define it as the time is ripped away. It's 5-1.
It was excruciating to watch the showstopper there, because you can see exactly, I mean, the cogs turning. He's isolating all these angles. It's just a split second behind finding that. And it's, of course, the one player that should have died from the showstopper, Depp, that actually then turns this round around. They find Laz as well, so they completely rip the Viper's Pit away. Like I said, Depp, after not being found with the showstopper, finds 3 kills, Lauren.
Such impactful work.
I mean, he's having a map here, 11 and 4 for ZETA here. It's just, what do they do? Liquid again have just, yes, they've created this pressure in mid, but ZETA adjust accordingly. And this is without the benefit of Laz. Like I said, the Viper's Pit towards B.
So impressive. And 5-1's, it's not a problem yet, but it's one of those that can trend towards it, right? You're starting to think, all right, guys, we're starting, this scoreline's looking one-sided.
I would counter that, because this feels like Fracture, where they had nothing tangible to work from. From these round losses, you don't come away from thinking, right, guys, actually, that's where we need to focus.
Yeah.
I don't feel as if Liquid are coming away from this with a list of objectives.
No, the lesson plan's missing. I think you're right. It's very hard to extrapolate much from this. But look who it is. 10.
Shorty in map 1, a judge in map 3.
It's nasty. Hey, look, it's
But
against
so I know
someone like
it's Sugar Zero,
Yampi.
but
True.
it's,
But it's like, you've had Yampi, you've had Link. Like, they, you know, you made this a thing. Sometimes what you put out in the world comes back. 10 says hello. That's 1. You can see the hesitation on Nevera, suddenly not loving it. Does deal with him really well. Rez comes in. We saw how isolated he was. He was on his own here, so the rotations will be quite far away. Liquid should have full site control.
There's no ultimates available on the way back in here, but Scream actually swings ahead of the Cosmic Divide here. Yampi good for 2 down below as well. Depp will respond. Actually, the Res comes through as well. Wide out in the open here, and Liquid will punish it. Find their second as well.
Finding a gap there. Liquid finally exploring that A site. We hadn't really seen much of that.
Well, actually, it's unknown territory to him. They've been there, once before. Nevera's been punished, I think, by 10 previously as well. Again, good to clear that out. Whether or not this will actually pull somebody from ZETA to maybe now focus a bit more to supporting 10, have to wait and see. And if Liquid can actually exploit that.
Exactly. This then changes the dynamic of that middle control, because you can't, keep cheating the players over early on those rotations. You can't have as much faith in the read because they might re-explore this now. That's a possibility, right? So it's how do you then take that space back? You can now see the flashes coming through as well. Yeah, okay, Nevera's probably here. We know that by now. But a quicker pace from Liquid. They're eyeing up that B site fast. Just a little bit of confirmation over that A site presence, and they are just all on in on B straight away. Soulcast not holding back for a second. He wants the space, he's going to take it. Now, it is only odds and ends on the other side. It's pistols, so it's not going to be a huge defensive line to be greeting them with. And Soulcast going to make light work of it with Scream by his side. It's comfortable, it's good work, and it's exactly what they need right now to bring the scoreline back to a better placement.
10 last one left. Whether I mean, really damage not going to matter an awful lot when we see the economy of Liquid. They bring it within 2 rounds of the Prime Gaming flawless. Spot, yeah, 10 does have a showstopper online now. Cosmic Divide available as well for ZETA. I said that previous, at least no adjustment there. Same sort of thing in terms of early round protocols for ZETA. The flash comes through, obviously expecting Nivera there, and not really amounted to too much. But Liquid, like you said, a little bit of a pace change. Looked pretty comfortable for them here.
I feel as though they needed a good anti-eco like that as well, though. Just something to keep them trucking along, get that scoreline being closed in as best they can. Because we know that ZETA can cause that danger.
We actually do see an adjustment here, which is 10 coming across towards B. Now, I mean, with Liquid leaning away from mid with all these kind of deterrents in terms of utility, having him there to, let's say, at least combo the paint shell from this B main push, but we're actually seeing depth rotate over towards A. Liquid again, a pause for thought early on. Lots invested towards Lads now. We'll force him back.
Yeah, and they want through fast. And I do want to see the difference of 10 potentially holding this, how it looks, if it does change the dynamic at all. Again, they're still working their way through by Mailroom. They're still taking their time here. No subtlety to this. So eyes go towards 10 and Crow. No quick rotation either. It's still a ways off. Laz can work his way through, but by now it's 10. This is who we have to look at. He spots one on the cross, doesn't send it, doesn't quite find what he wants either. Soulcast still stands, but it's Crow to capitalize. Punishes one, but the trade comes in. Yampy gonna deliver. And now Crow on the back line of sight. Can he do much more? Spots out Nivera, spots out one more. Still finds Yampy. It's scrappy, but it's a 3v2. Liquid hold the numbers for now, and they need to keep building off this. Sugar Zero playing out from heaven, but the spike in the hands of Scream. Oh, what a shot from Scream. Time to find it. And now Depp overwhelmed. Liquid, keep composure.
Looking a lot more comfortable here for Liquid. Going through the mojo again. Similar execute we saw in the previous round with that Rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
Again, 10. Just unfortunately, I mean, yes, the showstopper gets popped. It's going to slow down that heaven push, but posting around, I don't think finds enough damage. I mean, Soulcast is dealt with pretty quickly by Crow anyway, but unfortunately, he's not able to close the distance and really post that into heaven, because Liquid are got to be sweating when they hear that voice line popped.
But we also have to, I do really want to give a bit of praise here to Liquid, because we've seen a lot of times them falling short when they've been given a puzzle that they can't work out. And especially early game, you'll see them kind of spiral into this. You have very one-sided scorelines sometimes where they haven't been able to adapt. They found adaptation here. They found capability to break through that mid-presence. A little bit of that A show kind of came in, really helped them out there. And again, this is going to force a timeout from ZETA, who have to do it right back at them. But it's good to see Liquid having that capability, something that we've been waiting to see if it comes through time and time again. I
mean, I was really concerned to see Liquid explore mid with how kind of rock solid that setup felt from ZETA in the early rounds.
Yeah. And
here it's kind of paying a real lack of respect to whether or not ZETA are now leaning away from it because they haven't felt the heat on the other side of it. This adjustment with 10, I don't know if that's on the back of the showstopper or on the back of not feeling an awful lot towards A. But here, I mean, Liquid are fairly linear in their approach in most of these rounds, and ZETA unable to really do much damage on the way in.
Got to find it now, though, don't they? And 5-4, a good start, but you can see exactly when things started to go wrong for ZETA, and so right for Liquid. And
they're going to switch it up now, yeah. On the light buy, they're going to again attempt. I think this is kind of an attempt at conditioning, just making sure that ZETA still pay due respect to A site.
It's the right call as well. Yes, there are two players, of course, on the side itself, but again, this is absolutely the right read. If it can determine that sort of concept. However, they are being slowed down on this approach. It's not as clean as Liquid would have liked, potentially.
Certainly not free.
No, the rotations have come in as well. They might have to dismantle that slightly and fall away from it. Yeah, and Liquid have been held off for now.
Have to re-explore elsewhere on the map as Yampy and Link already quick to this rotation. ZETA now are going to be thinking, yeah, there's no follow-through here. But everybody committed, whether or not they're expecting the re-hit. B-site's going to be wide open for them.
You can never expect a double pump, you know? You can't bank on it. That's not how it works. But you can see now, yeah, the penny's dropped. They're aware it's going to be that B site.
Fire in the hole!
Actually going to lead with the ult. Soulcast wanting to really make sure this is kept safe. So have to be sure to not stack up too much towards CT or Heaven. Oh, Soulcast. He's having a bit of a nightmare with it himself, isn't he? Makes a meal of it, but it's fine. Flag's coming in, but again, this is Sheriffs. And there's not really much to be played with. I guess a bit of lucky timing could work out for 10 here if he checks. He does. That's a rifle now to be picked up. Now, is there anywhere else that could find a vulnerability? Soulcast. That's shaky. Oh, he's gone down. Laz has found him at Scream and Navera. Keeping things. What? Oh, I was going to say safe. There's no safety here. Sugar Zero. Full. Unleashing Fury. Sprays in. He got attacked. Oh, there's no bullets left to play with.
By the skin of their teeth, Navera delivers for Liquid. Ties things up.
He's a safety net man. Like, no. This round just screams anxiety to me. As soon as that kill comes in, that's a rifle recovered, and then this starting to chip away at them. The gap closer from Sugar Zero.
What is that from Sugar Zero?
Oh, it's just the follow-up shots, man. They're unreal.
There's a moment here as well. You can see, again, the spike cam completely saves Navera. Actually, the tag comes through down to 67 HP through the box as well.
That was a real shot at that. But it's 5-5 and resilience shown by Liquid. Finest of margins in these sort of games. It's all it comes down to. Is this going to be a clear, concise approach from Liquid, and Crow's in a dangerous spot, but actually makes the most of it. How did he stay alive? I guess finest of margins. As already down to 3, Liquid looking to try and just keep it simple, but it's not working out as well. They know that they're close, but they don't know how close. Again, Crow still holds the line. Thought that was instantly going to be a trade, not to be. Link, last one standing and not for long. ZETA, right players, right place, and the round's theirs.
Finally answering back here, and feels like a much more comfortable as Liquid. They do rely on a pretty fast execute on the B site. See what they have available here, actually coming into the last round. Rez, the Neural Theft, Link 2 off the Cosmic Divide, the others a little further afield. Laz does have that Viper spin. I previously saw that invested over towards B main. We'll see if we see a carbon copy of the setup here. Whether or not actually it's going to be popped here in mid to kind of slow things down and make sure this utility is available elsewhere.
Without a star, I cannot.
Not invested off the rip.
No. Interesting to see where he goes for it now. Double stack. What's this adjustment? No wall either. This is very interesting. Okay, late. Potentially slow goes in. Depth keeping the cards close enough to the chest. And Yampi makes his appearance. I think you might have noted Laz there, so this could be the adjustment already. See what Liquid does with this information now.
Poison orb remaining.
Liquid are almost hesitating. It looks as if they want to lean back towards B, but they don't want to completely give up mid in terms of allowing a push to come through. But now with the wall going up.
I like the delay of this utility invested actually coming out from ZETA. That's quite nice. This will give them a little bit more time, but now they need to read it correctly. Were they thinking this could be an A? It's not. It's going to be down once again to Crow to be the anchor on this site. Try and hold this safe. Depth forced to fight now, has to fall forward. Boombot comes in and 4 players for Liquid are on the side. The divide comes out as well. Soulcast targets Laz, and Soulcast, they're fighting this! Liquid swing the pillar, get 3 for it. 10 does what he can, but it looks like it's too little too late as Sugar Zero already down to 50 HP. Dealt with Soulcast. Gonna keep this all even on the half.
That's crazy. You can see just, I mean, the pressure really getting to ZETA now. Laz so hesitant to invest that ultimate off the rip, but I think they're waiting for a really, really transparent indicator here from Liquid, and they just don't get it.
No. Wow. Okay, this is the type of game and the type of half that just determines you have to fight for these dreams. These are not just given on a platter. It's still up in the air. It couldn't be closer. Desk, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it literally could not be closer. The score are dead even. Josh, you spoke about it already. You couldn't 100% call what was going to happen here, but could you have called that Dep was going to have that kind of an impact?
Well, Dep stepping up is a massive deal for ZETA Division, right? We talked about it on the last map where he was on Jet and couldn't really have the largest impact ever. Take a look at his kills and stats generally here. He's 13 and 9. But the issue being in the first 6 rounds, he was 11 and 4, and then the next 6 rounds, he went 2 and 5. So he had a massive impact for them at the beginning to really get stuff going. And I need to see more from him as he continues here. He's such a swing player for ZETA Division. This is their dream on the line. You've got to step up in these moments.
Yeah, and I think we almost saw towards the end of the half that NIP style come in a little bit for Liquid. Like, it started very slow, very controlled, and that almost played into the hands of ZETA because they like to sit back, they like to save their utility, and when it got into the latter rounds, we saw the pace picked up. You saw the value of someone like Soulcast.
Definitely.
Although he wasn't always getting the kills, he was taking so much space and allowing players like Navira in those late rounds to really pop off.
ZETA Division have been a team that kind of struggles to adapt to their opponent, I think, and Liquid are showcasing what could separate that, you know, smaller team that's really trying to punch against the big dogs from one of the giants, honestly, in the Valorant scene. Their adaptation in this half was fantastic, and they've got all the momentum right now. 6 rounds on attack side split is really good.
The other thing I will say, though, is ZETA are normally pretty damn good on their attack side. They have a lot of cool executions that Liquid need to be ready for and almost need to disrupt.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the second half, guys, because this is the last half both of these teams are going to play. Pansy and Hypok, let's see who can take this one.
6-6 is the scoreline. If you're just tuning in, you've missed already a perfect first half to the final map here. But, as Tom said, in my mind as well, ZETA are no slouches on this attacking side, so Liquid have to be really on the mark here. Absolutely, and Josh was talking about swing factors. I mean, 10's another one for me. Really, he has to shine here on the attack for ZETA. Looking like initially a 4-man lean towards B main here. Actually, Link going to be spotted by the Trailblazer. Link's so good. The paint shot doing loads of damage actually to Link. Yeah, he's still alive though. Vic just gets overwhelmed. Too many to handle. Soulcast tries to keep composed. Can't make it happen. 10 just unleashing with the frenzy. 3v2 numbers advantage to ZETA here. Spike in hand as well. Navera tries to fill the gap. Gets punished. Try to get a little bit of a timing on it, not to be a Nyampi. Yes, he's predicting the flank. He needed that clean. Not going to have it. First round in the second half goes to ZETA. One thing I've definitely got my eye on here, I mean, Liquid, just a nice little stat comparison here. Their retake success percentage sits around 33. Okay. And actually ZETA on the other side are fantastic at converting post plants. A 75% success ratio for them. So this is where I'm looking for ZETA to really, really step up here to see how it pans out. I mean, pistol round on the board. Great start for them here. We'll see how Liquid decide to approach this. Sheriff's again looking pretty much like a Liquid save round. Yep. As always, Yampi, Marshall in hand, Sheriff's across the board elsewhere. Okay, let's see what you get with it, right? A couple of tags can make all the difference here. And a lot of players here very early for Liquid. You've got 3 players dedicated and 1 towards the bottom side of rope, so this is not without resilience, and Scream shows it. It's precise. And again, the rotation's on the way. This could be dangerous for ZETA. This could be a really bad time for them. Navera going to connect well towards Depp. Crow does find another. You have to look towards the site. Soulcast caught a glimpse of one. Punishes on the trade out. Laz is going to hear this though. He's trying to play it just right. He knows there's another as well. He's going to hear that rope play from Yampi. He's dealt with. And the round gets across the line. I don't say cleanly. Messy though, yeah. At all, yeah. The rotations were right for Liquid. I love that approach from them. They were in the right place, right time. They concede 3. Let's see how the purchase sits for ZETA here, but as we know, Liquid going to come back into, well, I said, going to come back into sort of full by a Scream on a Judge, a Bulldog for Link. Yeah, but tell me the ZETA don't have plans for these sort of rounds. How many times do we see them do this sort of stuff? I have to see Liquid just get a grip on this game fast. It's looking like they're going to play a pretty fast hit once again onto A side. There's 3 members of Liquid here to hold down the 4. And the Snakebite setting in 2 spots on the side just to force. Well, actually 1 misses. And I think for me, just seeing Liquid being in the right place, hitting these rotations correctly, is such a key indicator that they're so prepared for this as well. Again, the rotations are here already, but they look like they adjust course, try to make the most of it. Quick trade out, Sugar Zero going to break through towards Scream. They lose 10, sure, but the site's looking vulnerable. This then puts it all in the hands of Link, who's going to try and probably slip in towards B main, potentially try and hold a little bit of that side space, as the rest are on the way, but they should be able to get at least a spike towards the side, unless Link takes an early fight, and he does! Slips away into the night after just garnering that little bit of impact. It's huge. But Sugar Zero, do they expect this? I don't think they do.
He's let one pass.
He let Yampy through, but it seems it didn't get called. Yampy finds depth. He tries to turn around. Sugar0 says no. Crow with the the catch towards Navera. And now the 2v2. They noted where Link was earlier, but he's adjusted around already. They're both playing on the backside of Pillar. One flash to hand, that's it. They ain't getting another one back up, so it's got to be good. Catching one with a flash. Sugar0 waiting patiently. They're trying to go on an exploration mission. They have to try and clear this, but the timing, Sugar0 just going to dip away towards CT slightly, gets a little bit of safety. And oh, Crow even finds Soulcast. And now they fight together. Link presented the unthinkable. It was his site to control and his to try and keep in check. And it's fallen to pieces. One bullet ain't going to do it. And ZETA do the damage.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, initially the one comes through onto 10, and you think, yeah, they're going to catch the timing here. Scream does a little bit of damage with that judge, but he's so quickly removed there. They have the benefit of all this space and rotation.
This is becoming real. This round right here has now put pretty double digits right on the board.
Yeah.
Right, you've got to say it, because the buy coming back in from Liquid's going to be a disaster. So that's probably 10-6 the way you're looking at it, and it's exactly why Liquid have this timeout right now, and it needs to be essential to their survival.
This is massive. For ZETA as well, obviously.
Yeah.
A huge round for Liquid to stop this, because like you said, actually, you think about where the expected purchases come from the next few rounds, it could get really uncomfortable for Liquid, because I'm looking at the ultimate progress. Soulcast still 4 away from the showstopper. The revive, the neural theft, not really massive playmakers in terms of this composition. Yampy one off the Rolling Thunder, though. The only real positive to draw out of this so far from the second half early rounds.
I guess if we try and bring it back into perspective, it hasn't been much shown yet by Liquid. We haven't seen them get into things. It's obviously just so scary when you are going to be staring down what will more likely than not be 10. I think that's just the scary factor, that you feel like at some point one of those ZETA players could probably get you around. And the same can be said for Liquid, but obviously they just don't have as many to play with. It's simple. It's the benefit of having that scoreline on the half. It just gives you that little bit over the edge. So I kind of need to see a bit here from Liquid that gives me pause for thought to think this is already kind of leaning ZETA's way.
Definitely so, as you see. Liquid look as if they're going to sit pretty deep with these judges. Sheriffs to kind of buff out this purchase. Because ZETA stacked up as 5 outside B this time. Whether or not Link's going to go exploring. He's had a little bit of space to work with, but he will be noted immediately here. That's going to pull Soulcast away from 8. He doesn't feel anything in mid either, so.
Okay, I like quick rotations though. Scream is chomping at the bit as well. Actually going to take the space off the back of the smoke that comes in. That's really nice. And he's going to get a chance at this. Delivers one. He can't find more. I thought that was teed up perfectly. How is Laz alive? Barely breathing, but still standing. A quick heal comes out. Crow going to pause for a second. It does give another chance for Liquid though to keep trying to turn these screws, but the divide is up.
Give them an opportunity to find this plant safely. The Boombot going to do damage, but
Seeker's right back.
Respond here, and actually ZETA perfectly comfortable in this reset.
There.
Now where's that burst going to come from? There's so much firepower still standing though. Yeah, Scream's down. Don't worry, Soulcast has been having a really good map so far. You've got Navera, Yampy. Still potential on this one, but ZETA digging their heels. There it is. Soulcast going to find the first quick trade though. Crow perfect with it. Spray in. Nice. Takes the angle, takes the advantage, and takes the kill, leaving Soulcast in the dreaded position of a 1v3. Just a Sheriff by his side, and damage would be lovely, but he's not going to get it. It's 10 found for ZETA as they close in on what could be their map win now.
Wow. I mean, it all comes down to this for me. Liquid need to stop ZETA now. It's almost
Stop the rot, man.
beyond the point of doing damage to this economy. ZETA have built up such a cushion now. And 10 actually on the showstopper now. What about Sugar0, man? He just plays around his smokes perfectly. We saw it so apparent in map 1 as well. How many problems he caused. The great hold there from backside for him. See what the approach is. Liquid again with a similar setup. 3 towards 8.
Yep.
Yampy, Soulcast, and Navera. Scream towards mid, and Link. Solo anchor towards B site.
Oh, the pace from 10. There ain't no stopping. He wants that instantly. Heaven's his. Scream on the other side, gonna draw out the utility from Liquid. You want to fight it back this time. 10 sends it. Does he find it? He does! Soulcast just gobbles that up. No shot. And now they're down to 4 so early on. This is still above a minute.
Now they have the res. Whether or not ZETA are going to hang around here to try and police it. Haven't really got anything to punish it just yet, but Scream is very apprehensive.
Okay.
ZETA are giving them the space to allow it.
But they've got a good reader. You can hear this utility on where that's just happened. If they wanted to explore A, it wouldn't even be a bad shout. But again, ZETA now have 48 seconds to try and work out what they want. It looks like they're still going to go back at this. Now Scream this time is going to be just dedicated towards Heaven. But it looks like Ropes is on the board as well. They're not sure just yet. It looks like Ropes is being found here. No one stopped them just yet. Flash comes in now. If you're Liquid, you're worried because you have to pull these players back. The loss of Soulcast so early is going to be an issue. 2 tucked towards CT, 25 seconds now. Where do they go? Scream tries to thread the needle. He gets one, but a quick trade out. Crow all too aware, and they instantly turn. They're trying to pivot this super quick back towards B, but there's still players present. This isn't going to be super easy. Soulcast back on his feet. Sure, he has to hold the line. He's got players by his side. He's not alone, but Link goes down. No! Sugar Zero! He found Soulcast, and the site's wide open. Nevera now has to somehow get 3 players, and the wall gets put up in his face. He has to do something about this, but he's tagged down to 4 HP, and ZETA are running rings around Liquid.
You've got to hold on to this rifle now. ZETA's just able to find these pressure points in this round and completely manipulate Liquid. I mean, you could almost argue with the benefit of having Soulcast, almost an unexpected extra body towards B. But they can't hold on to it. ZETA will find their 11th. And Liquid now struggling for answers, to be honest with you. Same setup once again. ZETA don't even lean into it. What's left in the tank for Liquid here? We've seen no attempt to even be proactive here on the defensive side, but with how fragile the economy is, not really having any of these, we talked about the Playmaker ultimates available in these early rounds. Again, the timing's awful for Scream. He actually finds Laz as well, that's the thing, but the contingency's there in place. The double swing is perfectly timed.
One enemy.
They've got to keep their composure now. You don't often get put in these scenarios just a couple rounds away from just going further than anyone expected. And again, I have to reiterate, Team Liquid are the ones who've stopped these dream runs in the past, right? Those crew games there, Cloud9 here and there. I mean, you roll it back, they have always held their nerve. They've always been the one to stop this. But I've got to say, ZETA have looked so well-rounded, excluding Haven, right? Let's just remove that from our memory. Just completely delete it out of there. That team looks like the real deal. This doesn't just look like one of those, like, out-of-nowhere mad dream runs. They look solid in what they're doing.
Well, actually, Tom made a really good point as well. That you can kind of look at it, didn't expect Fracture to slip into this veto the same way for Haven. So it's almost like, actually, in terms of path of the course, this has gone the way you'd expect it to. But here on Split, I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised it feels this one-sided now. The first half was so neck and neck. And Liquid have just come into this, I think, trying to make the safe play. Not really wanting to risk too much, and ZETA are punishing that, absolutely punishing that. We'll have to see if Liquid have a response here or able to even put up a fight. 3 sheriffs, a judge. Nevera obviously clinging to that rifle from the previous round, but they have to stop him here. They have to. Backs against the wall, ZETA on map and series point. And Liquid just no room for error after that. And look at the economy as well for ZETA, that's the other thing.
It's well.
5-round deficit and they're sitting pretty.
Oh yeah. Don't have to worry about that bank for a while.
ZETA's just gonna allow this pressure to build, a slow approach here in round 18.
So intense.
First time we've seen the adjustment actually from Liquid, so.
Okay. I mean, A has been pretty much left to its own devices. A couple of occasions they've gone there,
2 fast hits at the start, right? That was it.
And it feels like maybe some reactive looks that way, but it's only if Liquid have kind of given them the opportunity, whereas ZETA have been going through the motions, but I wonder. We say that, and of course now look what's happening.
Liquid
doing this right back at them.
Yeah, look as if they've got a decent understanding. Is Nevera and Link going to make their way across? Yampy going to be posted up with that judge still in mail, but see how far ZETA can get in here. Soulcast actually another miss on the showstopper.
It's an absolute screamer from him. And Laz is just going to power through him now.
30
Down to
seconds
3. Nivera's still got a rifle though, so don't think it's over just yet. And they don't have full sight control. 25 seconds. ZETA need to make this work in Yampi. He waits. The ice cold Finn dips away. He doesn't fancy all the way trying to sell, but look at the time. He's buying time and he's denying approaches, funneling them in towards Nivera, who's going to find one. Can't make too much more than the second on towards Laz. He falls, but so does Yampi. Dives down and now a 1v1. 7 seconds. Crow. Nerves of steel to go for this plant. And on the other side, 3 bullets, Link! He keeps them alive in this.
They cling to life once again.
Thrifty.
We'll find the defuse here, the thrifty round win to find Liquid 7th. Could this be the turning of the tides here for them? What a crazy round. Again, it's so anxious here for ZETA on the way in. Yampi actually almost finds the second, but...
Yeah.
Nice! Nice. That was the most important round of our life.
Rightfully so.
Yes.
Rightfully so by
Yes.
Scream there. The most important. Can they build off that now? Nothing left in the tank. I mean, Link with 3,400 behind this, but nothing left in the finances here.
There was ever a time for them to find that little spark, that kick back into the game. It had to be that round, and they found it in the form of Link. They found it in what they needed to. They're funneling them towards Nivera and just manipulating them from the start to the end of the round. And ZETA, I'm sure the nerves are just starting to mount, the realization you're this close. It always is those final couple of rounds that seem so impossible. But it's not. The money still is with them. They're able to fashion a full purchase. They're still to really vie for that mid-control.
ZETA happy to sit behind it. Spike not committed anywhere just yet, so actively looking for this opening engagement. We could revert back to this 3-man hold on A site, which hasn't really been pressured again in the buy rounds, at least, where we have seen this. Scream actually forced out of heaven as well, so lots of space opened up here by ZETA. It's actually going to pull the rotation. Nivera, got to be on red alert now.
Jump through. 10, not finding the entry he wanted. Nade's going to be quite nice. That paint shot's not going to be bad at all, but look at this presence as well. There's still one towards the side that is unnoted. So much more for ZETA to clear, so much more for them to do on the priority list. I think they just saw Yampi at pillar, and 10's not having as clean of a start. He looks nervous, he looks anxious, and Nivera is unmoving, unblinking. Depth though dives down, and that's absolutely perfect for ZETA, still keeping 3 alive against the last 2, Scream and Link.
Gonna have the
Where
res
are
as well.
they?
Spike planted.
You're right. And there it is now, 4 targets. Scream has to stand tall to that reputation he's garnered. He has to be the man of the moment, and he can't do it. Crow finds him, and Link left all alone once again. And 12 beckoning for ZETA. It's there for them. 12 on the board now, 1 round away from making history.
Gone here. Match point.
And again, they have the advantage here. As soon as those Seekers come out, Liquid are already
the buy.
preemptively rotating, but again, just leaving Soulcast so deep here that there isn't anything to bail him out. When this pressure comes through, he's overwhelmed.
Nice!
What a beautiful round from ZETA. Could that be the nail in the coffin? I mean, look at the purchase here. Look at the purchase.
There's nothing to it. It's 1 rifle on Link. Deep breaths. This could be history in the making. Team Liquid. Right place, though. This is the right time. Flash comes in, Nivera. Gonna see this. Doesn't see all of it, but they're gonna try and crunch on this one. Isolate one, but there's more behind it. Nivera delivers. So does Soulcast. They're digging deep here. Team Liquid don't want to go out just yet. They are fighting with everything they have, and they leave 3 of ZETA still alive.
Finally making use of that triple setup towards A.
Right there.
If Sugar Zero can find anything towards Link on B site here.
Man with the rifle.
I don't think they actually recovered either of the rifles outside A.
No, they dipped real quick. Now Link needs to play this perfectly as well, as does Scream. They cannot allow pressure to overwhelm them, the trades to be too effective. Yampi's actually going to take that spot back away, and actually Link's going to be able to maybe play from a little bit of a safer spot, maybe less of a one and done. And now Sugar Zero closing the gap. He gets 1. The spray's gorgeous. It's perfect from Sugar Zero. And there's a reality now that is presented that not many thought would happen, as Nivera and Soulcast have it all on the plate. And the dreams becoming a reality, all in that man's hands. Sugar Zero, 4 kills, and Soulcast has to face the music. A 1v3. The divide About to reveal all that anxiety, the terror that's in place. He finds one, he waits for the swing. Nothing comes, but the time is dwindling, and as is his HP. He has to face the facts. The sugar